Core TV News, expanding your view.
Thank you for staying with us on Cool Digest Thursday edition. It's Aregbesola's second time around as we find out what the expectations are. Our news updates will all come your way at 11 o'clock this morning. Stay tuned for that. You do not want to miss it. I'm here with the Commissioner of Information, Osun State, Sunday Akere. Thank you very much for staying tuned on the show today.
Thank you.
We're talking about the school restructuring, and we made mention of where exactly is this food coming from?
The food comes from within Osun. For us to get the foods that we are giving the pupils in the primary schools, the government engaged 3,100 women across the state as wholemeal caterers. We engaged them, we trained them, we assisted them in procuring facilities from a bank that gave them money to procure all the things that they will be using for their cooking. And they cook the food and bring them to the schools. And one good thing about the wholemeal program in Osun is that virtually everything that is used are sourced locally. Every week, the pupils are given chickens, they eat fish, they get fruits, and come to think of it, the chickens that we give them, they are the one produced by the farmers under the agri program of the government that we give, we organize farmers in the state into cooperative groups, and government gave them facilities with which they start their poultry farms. When they get when these chickens are matured, they will now take them to Toon's farm that has the facility to slaughter, to dress and do all this before they give them to the women that do the cooking for the pupils. The food, everything comes from inside Osun. And to the glory of God today, even through majority of these programs that Aregbesola initiated, we have been able to build people with capacity to stand on their own.
It sounds good, but how do you ensure the standard practice of hygiene, especially at this very sensitive and critical time?
We have inspectors that visit the kitchens. We have instructed the 3,100 women to have designated kitchens. The practice before was probably cooking in the school premises, but we still want this to cause unnecessary distraction. We ask them to set up the kitchens, and we have inspectors. We have local government education authority members that goes around to inspect the kitchens. And one good thing that majority of these women now enjoy is that majority of them have even become caterers on their own. Yeah. That weekends when they don't have to cook for schools, they cook for people doing socials.
Okay. What's the thing about the appointment and Ogbene's son? I mean, some are saying that he's actually in charge of the contract.
The son of the governor was never said to be in charge of the contract. I could remember vividly that when the appointment was being launched June last year, Asiwaju Tinubu that mentioned the name of the son said the son gave his knowledge, is a graduate of computer. At the initial stage, we should ask ourselves, how did appointment even started? Appointment came as an idea to the governor when he traveled to China and he saw these tablets just like the iPad we carry about. And he said, it should be possible for us to have a device in which we can impute all these textbooks that we are using in school. That was how he said, okay, this company that does these tablets in China, he has produced it for us. And he came back home, set up a committee of teachers in the schools in Osun.
What exactly is the relationship of the son of the governor with this appointment?
That is what I'm trying to bring out. Okay. The relationship of the son of the governor was that by the time they were trying to bring out this, the formula that they will use to convert this thing to a usable form, the son assisted them in drawing. Because he studied computer, and with his knowledge, he said, okay, these are the things that you should do. These are the things that let's try this way. Because one, in the appointment, we have about 64 textbooks taken from the WAEC syllabus. the electronic form of these textbooks were imputed into the appointment. And for us to be able to have this appointment in a way that the student will not misuse it, we ensure that it was disabled completely from having internet facility. You can't use it to browse. Although later when we gave it to the student, we discovered that some of them went to open it up, remove the card that were inside, and started inserting card with music and other videos. And the moment we discovered that they were doing it, we called for the appointment. Anyone that we found as maybe tampered with his or her own, we withdraw it from them. The relationship of the son of the governor was only in assisting the people that were doing the company that is doing appointment, just like the school uniform. They are almost at the process of finishing their factory in Osogbo now. The condition the governor gave them, the government gave them, when we gave them the contract was that, yes, you are producing for us a 150,000 computer tablets appointment. We will allow you to package 50,000 in your factory in China. But you must have a factory in Osun where our youths, we have the opportunity of being gainfully employed, where you are going to now finish the remaining 100,000. The factory is almost completed.
But what's the rationale behind disabling the internet facilities of
the rationale behind disabling the internet facility is that we want it to be totally an education tool.
The internet, of course, is an education tool.
The education tool we have in mind is giving them a tablet which can replace all these heavy loads of books that they carry about.
But do you think that
by the time you put internet there, me and you we are sure that under a day they will start to use it for this yahoo thing that the kids of today do.
But do you think that a tablet can be a viable substitute for textbooks? Because I'm trying to reason it. I mean, that means if I misplace that tablet, I've misplaced close to 10 or 12 subjects. 64 textbooks. I mean,
17 WAEC subjects. The tablet is a viable alternative because in the tablet we compartmentalize it into 3 divisions. The first one is the library, which consists of the 64 textbooks that I mentioned, the electronic form of the 64 textbook. The second one is the virtual class, where, assuming you want to study geography, when you click on the geography SS2, you pick a topic, you will see the teacher talking onto you as if you are in the class, and you'll be responding. And the third one is the answer and question session, which contains questions and answers in WAEC and JAMB for the past 10 years. So it is a complete tool that any student that is serious, without even any leading in the classroom, can use to pass WAEC and JAMB excellently well.
So every student in Osun State now wears the same uniform?
It's not every student. We have 3 types of uniform.
Okay.
One for those in elementary school.
For all the students in Osun.
One for those in middle and one for those in high school.
What's the rationale behind that?
The rationale behind this is that when you look at our school system of old, I will take you back to even the period of the Obafemi Awolowo era. Then we call the schools owned by the government local authority schools. All of them wear a single uniform all through. Go to the Republic of Benin there. All public schools wear the same uniform. The rationale behind this is that when you have the uniforms, each of the schools will have their badge by the chest for identification. And if they are government schools, the son or the child of the pauper must not see himself or herself as being different from the child of the elite. We went around when we came.
Does that include private schools as well?
No, it doesn't. It's only public schools. It's only for public schools.
Okay. We
went around when we came. We saw that majority of the students, majority of them cannot even avoid uniform. You see them coming to the class in their Ankara or their local clothes. That is why the government said, let us introduce uniform for them, and we gave it out free of charge, the 4 sets. And we expect that the parents will buy another set with which the student can be changing over.
That's all right. This is all right. Let's move quickly away from that. The perception of the people, especially in this part of the world, is that the second term comes with a lot of promises, but less fulfillment. And there are proofs to show. I mean, Nigerians have learned their lessons. That's even one of the reasons why most electorates would not want to vote you a second term, no matter the achievements that you have to show. What exactly does this administration has to show in this
Well,
midterm?
the thing we must first bring out in answering your question is that the APC administration in Osun, under the leadership of Aregbesola, is a product of history. I said a product of history because Aregbesola was Commissioner for Works and Infrastructure here in Lagos for 8 years. And that 8 years was under the tutelage of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Asiwaju Tinubu reigned in Lagos for 2 tenure of 8 years. Nobody ever said that he did not perform his second tenure. Now, Governor Rajiv Fashola is almost completing his 8 years tenure. Nobody says he didn't do anything in his second tenure. If we have states in other parts of Nigeria where their leaders don't perform with the second tenure, that should not make us to generalize that whoever wants to take a second tenure will not perform. What we promised the people of the state of Osun when we were campaigning for this election is that yes, we have used our first tenure to lay the foundation for a new Osun. By the grace of God, when we come this second tenure, that is the message of Aregbesola to the people, that what we are going to give is not giving people something good for 4 years alone. We are giving something that will last the people for the next 20 years. Come think of it. We are almost in the process of completing our international airport in Osogbo. We are building several schools. The model schools we are building is about 170. We have completed about 40 of them. We are almost completing another 30. We will complete all this in our second tenure. We have completed over 1,000 kilometers of road by the state across Osun. The local governments in Osun have completed 232 kilometers of roads. We have rehabilitated the nine general hospitals in Osun. We are doing that for all the comprehensive health centers. We are giving free health service in Osun. We are opening up the environment. Osun is in the process of doing urban renewal in 9 of its major cities. These are things that we are doing in Osun. We are building markets. We are doing everything to ensure that lives become better for the people of Osun. Aregbesola as a leader knows that by the time he's completing his second tenure in 2018, the government must have been seen to have surpassed in terms of performance what he did in his first tenure during the second tenure before he can be able to boldly do what Asiwaju Tinubu was able to do in Lagos, that yes, oh, this is my beloved son, in whom I am well pleased.
The Oshu PDP is heading to the tribunal for some issues. Ogbeni won in 2007, but could not become governor until 2010 after the Court of Appeal in Ibadan ruled in his favor. What are the issues this time, and how will this court case affect, the performance of this administration?
The court case will not affect us at all. We are set to continue the good works that we are doing in Osun. And the PDP as a party, they have the rights, constitutional legal rights to approach the tribunal. The governor said it in one of his interviews that if they feel there's something wrong there, they can approach the tribunal. That will not disturb us, it will not distract us, it will not stop us from doing the good things that we are doing. But the issues are clear. Even if there are allegations of probably the election being affected by one thing or the other, it's on the side of the PDP, not on the side of anybody. The PDP candidates claim that the former REC has laid the foundation. Was there any case of where we said it clear even way before the election? We don't want anybody to assist us. The APC in Osun, we don't need anybody's assistance. The only thing we want is for people to work with their clear conscience and give us a level playing ground. We are the party that is law. We are the party on the ground. What we don't want is anybody now using any backdoor style to manipulate the process. And thank God, even with what they were able to do, God still showed himself that it is only the will of the people. We are not bothered. They can go to tribunal. Our lawyers will meet them there and the governor will continue his good works.
Okay, we have a caller now from Oshobo, Adesoji. Hello, Adesoji. Hello? Okay, I think we lost that. The number is flashing on your screen and able to turn down the volume of your TV set if you intend to call. Now, there are some who would say the developments you've talked about in the past few minutes have not come without a price for the Osun people. What is the debt profile of Osun State?
We say it is quite clearly every time. When you want to talk of even debt, let's consider it on individual level. As an individual, you have an account with a bank. No bank will ever borrow you more than what it knows you have the capacity to pay. If you want to borrow money from a bank today, the bank will ask you to bring collateral. They will have assessed your worth and know that yes, what we are going to borrow you, you worth more than times 3 of what they are borrowing.
Just a minute, just hold your thoughts. Let's take this call from Malaysia. Hello, Johnson.
Yes.
Good morning. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm fine.
Please go ahead with a contribution.
I say after building infrastructures like schools and roads, how about industries for Osun people to get work?
Okay.
The government of Aregbesola is working on that. And I want to thank Mr. Johnson that you are calling from Malaysia. Early this year, the governor commissioned a factory in Malaysia, RLG Adulawo Technology Village, where computer sets, handsets are being produced. That is one of the commitments of the governor to ensure that the people of the state has factories where they has places where they can work. I said the factory that will be doing Okpoma is almost nearing completion. And few days to the election, all of us saw the governor laying the foundation for the factory where these small buses, Korokwe, will be assembled in Osogbo. We have a commitment. We have had several of us. I know somebody that said, the moment they finish all this thing that they are doing, please assist me. I was even telling some of my friends 2 days ago before I left Osogbo. I have somebody that said, Commissioner, help us to get a piece of land. We want to come and build a cinema in Osogbo. That's to tell you that people see that there is development in Osun now. There is peace in Osun, because where there is no peace, there can be no development.
Just a moment. Let's take this call from Kano. Hello, Ibrahim. How are you today? Good morning, Ibrahim.
Yeah, good morning.
Please go ahead with a contribution.
I'm fine. Yeah, I'm Ibrahim I. Nasser, coming from Kano. Yeah, I did my NYC in Osun some few years back. That was under the PDP. And last year I was in Osun for this ANA. I saw the progress present administration is doing. I've seen a new Osun state. You see, this is what we are expecting all other governors within the country to do. It's not issue of PDP or APC. We want people who can take us to the promised land. This is just the issue. You see, people are always there to see the fact, to see the monumental achievement, to see what the nationalists have already put in place. People from the West are known for issue of education. And any government that comes to revive education will be given a kudos. So the time has come for we, the masses. We don't mind whoever is on top. Just put the infrastructure in place. So this is what we want. We are not concerned about PDP or APC. who is there to take us to the promised land. So,
Very much, Ibrahim, for your contribution. Ibrahim is calling from Kano. I asked a question earlier. I'm not quite satisfied with your answer. What is the debt profile of Osun State?
I have not even answered. I was about starting to answer when you said you wanted to take a call.
Okay, please go ahead.
I was doing the analysis that no banks will ever borrow you more than what you are worth. Now let's look at Osun as a state. Before the downturn in revenue last year, June, Osun used to get about 4.6 billion per month. Added to our internally generated revenue, let's assume that we have about 6 billion overall. Our salary bill is about 4 billion, meaning that, okay, even if Osun is going to have a reserve, Osun we have a reserve of 2 billion.
I might have to cut you again. We have another caller from Oshobo. Okay, we're going to take this call, but MCR, we're going to give my guest some time to establish his answers before you pick the calls. Hello, Kayode.
Hello, Mr. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm calling from Oshobo. I just want to commend the commissioner for his contribution so far. And I'd like to ask this question for him. Hello, Mr. Mayubi.
Yes, I'm with you. Please go ahead.
Okay, yeah, Mr. Commissioner, sir. Last year or so, the school of the Osun State University was, I think the accreditation for probably the School of Health or so was not approved. I don't know what the government is doing right now concerning the School of Health, the teaching facility for the university.
I know Mr. Kayode might want to talk about probably the College of Medicine at the Uni Osun. The problem we have at hand is this. Yes, the University of Osun sought accreditation for the College of Medicine. Without waiting for a final approval, they started admitting students. And we discover that for you to say you want to have a College of Medicine, converting even the general hospital that we have in Oshobo to a medical college for them will cost the government not less than 1.5 billion. How is the government going to sustain this considering the economic situation of the country? We realized that today, since the creation of the university, an enabling law was passed by the assembly which mandated every of the local government to be contributing a certain percentage of their revenue monthly to run the university. Is it out of this that we will start another college of medicine when Lautech University of Ogbomoso, that is jointly owned by Oyo and Osun, has its college of medicine in Oshobo? That was why the government said we won't allow you to continue with this medical program, and so as not to cut short the hope of the students that have already been admitted for medicine. The government graciously took it, the governor graciously took it upon himself that the government will send them abroad to complete their medical studies. But we won't allow the university for now to continue admitting students for medicine.
Talking about the College of Medicine in Oshobo, I have some friends. So we studied together in Lautech. You know, I was amazed that late last year I still spoke with one of them who was studying medicine and told me he was still in school after 9 years of crying out loud. What's the government doing?
Thank God that you even say you studied in Lautech. You knew it when you were there, that there was a lot of issues between the two owner states. When Lautech was to be created, the two states contributed money to start it, and they agreed that it will be sited in Ogbomoso, while the two states fund it equally. There is no state that pays more. But before the advent of the Aregbesola administration, we had issues in which Oyo, under Alao Akala, decided that he wants to take over the school alone, and decided that they won't have anything to do with the College of Medicine.
What's the hope now for those medical students?
Definitely the two states have resolved, and I know that if not for this strike or the other that might be maybe delaying them, the strike by the medical doctors that might be delaying them one way or the other, there is nothing stopping them from completing their studies.
We have another caller from Oshobo. Hello, Bimbo. Good morning, Bimbola.
Hello, good morning.
How
My
are
name
you
is
today?
Aregbesola from Oshogo.
Go ahead with the contribution, please.
I am actually calling to commend the government of Osun State because I am a new teacher. I am one of the 3,000 new teachers in Oshogo, and I knew nobody. I just went for the exam and I passed. So I am saying the government of Osun State have really done well. Kudos to them. That's my comment.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bimbola.
You're welcome. Let me quickly take you into politics a little bit. Ogbeni Aregbesola contested in 2007 and did not get his mandate back until about 3.5 years. Now, the actor in all of this was the governor, the former governor, Olagunsoye Oyinlola. Just before this election, we saw him again at your joining you, and then I mean, many have asked the
and then
ideology
shaking the broom.
and shaking the broom. Some have asked the ideology behind that. That someone like Ogbeni Aregbesola, who everyone knows to be a progressive, could at this particular time, some of just because of winning an election, you know, identify with a character that he fought with the court to win back his mandate.
In politics, we always say that there is no permanent friend or permanent enemy. It is only permanent interest. It was not Aregbesola that joined the other side, but the other side, the former governor, saw that Aregbesola is doing well, is doing good. The election of August 9 in Osun was a decision for the people of Osun to pick between evil and good. And it was not only Aregbesola, it was not only Oyinlola. Think of it, in Osun, there have been 3 civilian governors that you will say the people elected. Senator Adetunji Adeleke, Chief Adebisi Akande, Governor Olagunsoye Oyinlola, Aregbesola. All of them are on the same platform because they know that is the platform that will benefit the people of the state of Osun. That was why Governor Prince Olagunsoye Oyinlola too joined us and say, let me identify with them before, because you know he could have even decided that as he has been keeping low profile to stay like that until after the election. But if he now comes out of the election and say, I want to identify with people, we say, because you know that he have won. He identified with us before the election. He showed his commitment. He ordered his followers to support our cause, and we won. And he's part of the success of the August 9
think about
election.
the commissioner, yet APC did not win in his local government.
The issues are clear. I said a lot of things went into play in that election. In his local government, we have the business and management arm of the University of Osun. The students were there. Go and ask them how much PDP gave each of them before they voted for PDP. Votes were purchased at minimum 5,000, 10,000 to get that victory. And whether he even won his local government or not, the fact that he as an individual identified with us is enough for us. What was the margin? Maybe 10,000 plus to 12,000 plus, less than 2,000 difference. We know that by the time we are going to do the February next year election, PDP will not win that local government.
Did he win in his ward?
He didn't win in his ward because that was where we have the preponderance of the students.
It's all right. Okay, you were talking about the debt profile earlier before, you know, we were caught short by the. Can you quickly touch on that before we take another
So the
call?
issues are clear. If Osun make a savings of 2 billion per month, in 1 year, we are going to have 24 billion. For the 4 years tenure, first tenure of Aregbesola, that is 24 times 4, which is 96 billion.
Okay.
How now did the opposition now think banks will borrow Aregbesola 400 billion as they are banding about, when even the total savings we can make in 4 years is less than 100 billion? The debt profile of Osun today, there is nothing we do in Osun that we don't make open, plain and transparent. When Ogbeni was presenting the budget for last year, part of the budget was that we will seek for bond of 35 billion. We borrowed 30 billion from the bond market. And for the Sukuk, we took another 11.4 billion for the Sukuk, which is the school projects building that we are doing. Our debt profile is totally 41.4 billion.
Okay,
it's only the opposition that wanted to say, they are owing over 400 billion,
is it in
which is
naira
not
or
true.
dollars?
It's in naira.
Okay, we have a call now from Oshogo. Hello, Maxilo. How are you today?
Hello, good morning.
Please go ahead with the contribution, brother. Go ahead, please.
The state chairman, United Democratic Party, State of Osun. At the same time, the state chairman, Interparty Advisory Council to the INEC, State of Osun State. With reference to what the commissioner has just said, that the contest was between the federal might and the APC in Osun State. It was obvious because during the stakeholders meeting, I took upon myself by asking Professor Dega what is the functions of the political agents, the observers, and he explained everything to us. We asked the distress number from the IG. He gave us the distress number. I myself called for the two that was received. One said it wasn't a distress number. He is a police officer, but he was not on duty on that day. The second one said he was in Akwa Ibom State. Yeah, they brought all the security personnel to bombard us here, to intimidate us. They did some arrests. They also still resisted it. We are not people like the people. We are not voting for party here. We are voting for personalities. The people don't vote for APC, they don't vote for PDP. They vote for personalities. We fought for Aregbesola here. I belong to other political party, but we knew what he was doing. So the federal government, they shouldn't do that one again. The fight was between President Jonathan and Aregbesola. And we thank God, the wish of God prevailed. We are not people like APC people. Thank you and God bless.
Contribution, Maximo from Oshobo. Now, it's interesting to know that during the 2011 election, Osun was the only state where the
Jonathan
APC
lost.
candidate, won.
Yes.
Well, amazingly, that same candidate has decamped from, the APC to the PDP. But then, beyond all of that, Osun is not only different in that light. Osun is also the only state in Nigeria that has a different name. State of Osun.
Yes.
It has its own flag. It has its own anthem.
Osun is not the only state that has a flag.
No, I was actually referring to the name, the change of name. It seems to be the only state in Nigeria that has a change of name. What's the rationale behind that?
Because we are always first in everything. The fact that somebody might have been doing something for years in a wrong manner does not say it should continue to be the norm. The Constitution of Nigeria says Nigeria shall have 36 states. And when you pick the Constitution as it is listed, there was nowhere they said Lagos State or your state. They said Lagos or your up to Zamfara. We said Nigeria is a republic where we are practicing genuine federalism. Let us go all over the world where federalism is truly being practiced. It is only in Nigeria that we have the abbreviation of having Lagos State, or your state, Ogun State. Every other place, it is state of. And because Osun now said, yes, we want to lead, we want to set the pace for others to follow, that does not now say we should now jettison what we have started. If others now see reasons with us, they should join us. If you cannot beat us, join us. When we introduce the new appellation state of Osun, when we introduce the anthem, when we introduce the flag, when we introduce the crest, people said, they wanted to start new things as if we want to secede. Bayelsa State, the state of the president, did theirs after us. Nobody said anything. Ekiti has an anthem and a flag, nobody is talking. Lagos has an anthem and a flag, nobody is talking. Because we are setting the pace, that does not say anybody should see us as being an outcast. When we started the issue of the youth empowerment, oh yes, we engaged 20,000 youths at a single day.
Just a minute. We have a caller. Just a minute. Commissioner Abimbola Adetoro from Oshobo. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Welcome to Cold Digest. Please go ahead with the contribution.
Let me congratulate also APC for defeating of Aregbesola, and also let me commend Aregbesola's effort on the improvement of Osun State. And I want to make it clear that
that Aregbesola victory is not for the only, is not for only for some people, but also for the entire Yoruba race. And why did I say that? Because the Jonathan led the federal government did not mean anything good for the Yoruba race. Look at what happened in Ekiti. Wanted to repeat the same thing in Osun, and it's about to repeat, it is about to do the same thing in Lagos. And we Yorubas, we are very wise. We are not going to allow that. That is number one. Then number two, let me find it clear to our Honorable Commissioner for Information that people in Osun voted for Aregbesola en masse just because Aregbesola was not in us. We all want him. We want him to be our governor. And I just want you to know that the imposition of APC or OPCN is not going to work any longer. Please let the people choose their candidate. And after choosing their candidate, we will see what is going to happen. That every other election we are going to win it as soon as possible. Thank you very much, Honorable Commissioner.
Thank you.
Thank you, Aregbesola, for your contribution. And he made a very, very incisive statement. They're talking about the imposition. Some said that has characterized the APC. I hope you're thinking again this time around.
We are all learning. When you see the APC of today, you will know that definitely with the new party, one of the rules put together by the leadership at the formative stage was that genuine internal democracy will be practiced.
Okay.
And we will stick to that because we know that normally what constitutes affection within parties is when somebody is brought without the overall consent or agreement of the majority. For us, for the 2015 general election of February, we know that the leadership will allow, just like the caller said, the will of the people to prevail by allowing genuine internal democracy. We will do that because we have seen that it is the will of the people that won the election for us.
Okay, so you agree that the party initially got it wrong?
The party didn't get it wrong. Let me tell you, I was discussing with somebody, even where you say you want to do probably primaries for selection, some people will still go through primary and after they may have lost and decide that they want to leave the party. But it is always good for everybody to know that on our own part, we have done what we are supposed to do. If they say the leadership should do a primary now, and we said, okay, 4 of you are contesting for this position, you have agreed that whoever emerges will be your candidate. And somebody emerges and the other 1 or 2 says they are going to another party, they are free to go. The people outside will know that they are nothing other than spoilers. So we have been getting it right in the past and it has been paying off. But the leadership will evolve ways of ensuring that the side that they have been using in the past that has paid is allowed to blend with the latest trend for the overall interest of all of us.
Of course, we heard that the Osun Osogbo is being celebrated in low-key because of the Ebola outbreak in Nigeria. What exactly are the preparations and plans on ground in Osun to prevent that virus?
Thank you very much. In Osun, the Osun Osogbo Festival Grand Finale will be tomorrow. And what we usually witness in the years past is the influx of people in their thousands to come and worship at the riverside. This year we have made appeal to the various stakeholders to assist us in ensuring that their members stay away.
Okay.
Because we don't want an outbreak of Ebola in Osun as it's been witnessed in other states. The plans of the government to achieve this goal is the formation of an interministerial committee consisting of the ministries of health, information, environment, rural, water, tourism. And the assignment given to this committee has to do with the duties and responsibilities of each of the arms. For a start, we have met with the Osogbo Transitional Council and the Osun Osogbo Organizing Committee. We have addressed a press conference. We have identified the notable stakeholders that are involved in bringing people, which mainly is the OPC.
Okay.
We have spoken with the leadership, Otumba Gani Adams, and appealed to him to assist in ensuring that our people stays at home this year. We have instructed the Ministry of Health in case we pray there will be none, in case of any outbreak, to have isolation centers where people will be treated and attended to. We have instructed the Ministry of Environment to provide at every point around the city hand washing centers where people can have disinfectants to wash their hands. We have appealed to the transport union to ensure that they don't get themselves involved in bringing so much crowd, and we are going to mobilize the security operatives to ensure that at every street leading to the stream they maintain orderliness and don't allow people to just flop there anyhow. We believe that yes, we cannot entirely stop people from coming, because even over 2 weeks back, several of the foreign tourists might be in town going around seeing one thing or the other. We can't stop them from coming, but what we don't want is the large, excessive congregation of people that usually
Characterize the festival. You know, oftentimes after elections in Nigeria, we have the incumbents say to the opposition that you can come along, you can join us in administration, you're welcome with open arms. But there are fears that certain regions in Osun State did not vote for Aregbesola, at least from the statistics we saw from the election. An example is the Ife senatorial zones and all of that. What hope or what promise do you have for this region that they won't be sidelined in the development program?
It is not the Ife senatorial zone, and I don't want to believe that even the Ife did not vote for Aregbesola. All of us knows what really happened there. Our senator for Osun East, which consists of Ife-Jesha area, is from Ife, Senator Babajide Omowurare. And when you look at the totality of the votes for the 10 local governments there, even including with the padded one from the 4 local governments of Ife, if it had been a senatorial election, Omowurare would have still defeated Omishore. And the issues are clear. We bear no grudge against anybody that did not vote for Aregbesola. The governor is a complete gentleman and a statesman. And he has said it times without number, that in governing, yes, at the election period, people might have one differences or the other, but the moment election results are announced, all of us becomes one. He is now governor over all the 20 parties that took part in the election, not governor for APC alone. And we are saying nobody is going to be victimized or unduly punished for not voting for us at that election. We will treat everybody as partakers in the advancement and development of the state of Osun.
What exactly are the promises? But possibly there are some things we have not touched on. What exactly is the focus of this administration in this second term?
I have said it earlier that our focus is to ensure that we bring into total actualization the new Osun that Aregbesola is building now. We will complete all the jobs that we have started, all those that we have started. And I said it at maybe one interview yesterday. By the time we finish work on the road that we are doing now, we won't start doing it again now, because the kind of road we are doing has the capacity to last for minimum of 20 years. And by the time we finish road A, definitely road Z in another area that might have not felt the impact of government will now be touched. We will touch everywhere. We will ensure that we make life better and more abundant for everybody in the state of Osun. And one thing that has been paramount to us in Osun, which Aregbesola has assisted in putting in place, is enhancing communal peace and progress. Before Aregbesola came, Osun has the unfortunate experience of being the only state that the police did not have a single armed personnel carrier. That was why then, in the broad daylight, armed robbers can invade anywhere and just do the thing, whatever they like. Between then and now, Aregbesola has purchased 25 armed personnel carrier for the police in Osun. We have set up the Swift Action Squad. We have set up the robots. People now sleep in Osun with their 2 eyes closed. We will ensure that continues. Where there is no peace, there can be no development. We will ensure that peace continues to reign in Osun. There will be religious harmony. There will be understanding between every of the tribes. Osun is a multilingual state.
Just a minute, Commissioner. We have a caller from Ife. Gotemi, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
How are you today?
I'm fine.
Please go ahead with your contribution.
be on to the Honorable Commissioner, please?
Please
Yeah,
go
I'm
ahead.
listening. What do you mean?
Yeah, I'm calling from Ife.
Okay.
I just want to congratulate the governor of doing good job. Sir, I want to make a comment. We are victimized in Ife. There's a lot of soldier in Ife. But despite that,
You are able to do your best.
we are sharp bound to vote for a party that is not of our choice. But thank God that the governor came out in victory. But I want to ask one question. The Bogon Road, the Bogon Oshogbo Road, is it handled by state government or federal government? Because the project is massive. And I want to ask one thing. Is Osun a productive state or a civil servant state? Thank you, sir.
Okay, let's start from the first one.
Well, I will start from the first one, which has to do with the Gbagan Akoda Road.
Okay.
Although it is a federal government road, but it is the state government that is constructing it. We are doing a trumpet bridge at Gbagan Junction, while we are going to while we are in the process of dualizing Gbagan or Deomo up to Akoda. We did not say it is a federal government road and decide to close our eyes to it. We know that it is Osun indigenes that plies the road every day. The lives that have been lost on the road are those of Osun indigenes. That is why the government decided that whether the federal government repays us or not, we must ensure that the road is in good condition. It's not only that one alone. The Oshogbo, Ikirun, Okuku up to Kwara Boundary Road is also federal government road. It is massive. It's costing the government about 19 billion. The Gbagan dualization and the trumpet bridge that the Oshogbo to Kwara Boundary is about 17 billion. The Gbagan dualization that you mentioned is with the trumpet bridge is almost over 20 billion. We didn't say because of the huge amount of money involved we will leave it. They are federal government road, but it is Osun indigenes that applies the road. And Ogbeni Aregbesola as governor will not close his eyes and allow the precious life of our citizens to be wasted unduly. We are doing it. We are doing it even with the little resources available to us, but we want to assure that we are going to complete it. And on the
Whether Osun a productive state or a
civil service state, before the advent of our Aregbesola administration, everybody refers to Osun as a civil service state.
Okay.
Because the totality of what goes into the economy there is the salaries given to civil servants. But the target of Ogbeni is to make Osun under him and subsequent administration to become a productive state and no more a civil service state. In that, if what we used to pay salaries is just about 3.6 billion, the target of the administration is to ensure that our internally generated revenue, when we came, our IGR was hovering between 200 million to 300 million per month. Today, to the glory of God, without increasing taxes, only through blocking of leakages and loopholes, we have been able to up it to 1.5 billion. And our target is to ensure that minimally every month we'll be getting 5 billion to 10 billion before Aregbesola leaves in 2018.
Internally generated revenue.
Internally generated revenue.
I was going to ask you, what is the revenue allocation to Osun State relative to the internally generated revenue?
The revenue allocation to Osun before June last year was about 4.6 billion per month.
Okay.
And our salary bill is 3.6 billion. But from July last year, it has dropped to 2.7 billion. We have to add money before we could even pay salaries. The questions are these.
Just a moment. Let's take this call before. Bayo is calling from Iriba. Hello, Bayo.
From Eripa.
Iriba. Hello, Bayo, are you there?
Yeah, good morning.
Please go ahead with the contribution, Bayo.
Good morning, I'm Bayo from Eripa, on Osun State.
Okay, go ahead, please.
I'm listening. Okay, I just want to commend your general, Aregbesola. Honestly, I want you to send your people to Osun State and see how this man is performing.
Now, people are in Osun.
Honestly, it's highly commendable.
Okay.
I want you to come every day, anytime. Don't
involve every official of the state government. Come on your own now, visit all the local government. You will see the hands of Aregbesola every year. He has taught the life of the people of his state. I wish him the best of luck. The Lord is present and people endeavor. Come to your state and do what you have. Thank you. Good luck, Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Bayo, for the call. So how has the state been able to cope? A slash from 4.6 billion to 2.7.
Yes, when we came as a government, the Aregbesola administration is the first administration that initiated what we call the Omoluabi Savings Account. We passed a law at the Executive Council meeting, which was ratified by the House of Assembly, in which we made it mandatory that for everything that comes to the purse of the government at the end of every month, 15% must be reserved in an account.
Okay.
So by the time we had the shortfall, it was this account now that we refer to for augmentation. But the question which I want everybody in Nigeria to assist us in asking the federal government is why the reduction in the allocation to the states.
Was that peculiar to Oshunelo?
It's not particular to Oshunelo. It's to that's why I said Nigerians should help us in asking them. Allocations have been reduced since July last year by 40% to all the states and the local governments. Nigeria has a mandate to sell 3.2 million barrels of crude oil by per day, as given by OPEC. The amount allocated by the National Assembly in the budget this year is $75 per barrel. If you want to say, we have not sold less than $108 per barrel this year, meaning that we have well over $30 excess, and still allocations are being reduced. We believe the decision at the federal government is political, because states that are under the control of the PDP, they know how they give them extra money under the table. They should give every of the states what is due to them, so that development cannot be stagnated.
We can confirm that on this platform, but what's the internally generated revenue is like now, in our show?
I have said it earlier that before we came, it was between 200 and 300 million monthly, but now it has risen to 1.5 billion.
Oh, 1.5 billion. Okay, let's take our last call on the show. Akim is calling from Oshogbo. How are you today, Akim?
I'm fine, thank you.
Let's go ahead with the contribution.
I want to ask the commissioner the state of Dagbolu market. And I learned the government has contracted out the purchase of coaches that will be transporting manufactured goods to Oshogbo. I want to confirm how far this is put and the situation as far as the market is concerned now.
Hello? I'm afraid we lost that.
Well, I think from the first part of the question, Akim asked about the state of Dagbolu market. The administration of Aregbesola at the onset initiated the construction of 3 major markets.
Okay.
The Aregbesola market, which we have about 1,500 to 2,000 stalls. The Ajay market, which we have about 4,500 stalls, and the Dagbolu mid-regional market, which we plan to be the hub of buying and selling in the whole of the Southwest. In the olden days, during the Western region thing, Oshogbo used to be the number 3 commercial city in the whole of the Southwest. Ibadan is 1, Lagos is 2, after then is Oshogbo. But during the long period of military misrule, Oshogbo has been completely pushed to the back. What Aregbesola wanted to initiate, which we are working on, is to restore the commercial glory of Oshogbo to what it used to be. In doing this, we have entered into agreement with all the companies that produces commercial products in Lagos, that the government of Aregbesola will assist them in bringing their finished products free of charge from Lagos to Oshogbo, so that people can buy them at the prices people are buying at Okearin here in Lagos, also in Oshogbo. And the cost of doing this is why we wanted to do the Dagbolu market. The Dagbolu market is a project that will cost nothing less than about 10 billion. The government cannot do it alone. We are talking to international partners, foreign partners that will partner with the government in funding the project. Several of them have come around, they have looked at the area. The government has committed some million of naira to preparing the groundwork at the location. We have even opened the road to the market, which is almost nearing completion now. Okay. It's part of the road being handled by one of the major contractors in Osun. We are not stopping at that. Now that God has given us our second senior ticket, we will revisit it, call back the foreign partners to come and start work immediately. And we believe God that before the end of the second season of Aregbesola, Dagbolu Mint regional market will be completed.
We have thousands of calls pouring in, but we're so sorry we can't take all your calls. You can check us up on Facebook and Twitter. I'm sure that will come up on your screen shortly, and you can drop all your comments there. We're running up now, Commissioner. What are your final comments in this regard, especially to the people of Osun?
Well, our final comments to the people of Osun is to appreciate them. God worked through them. I say it everywhere I have the privilege of talking, that Aregbesola as a governor did not have more than 1 vote. Akere as a commissioner did not have more than 1 vote. For 394,000 people, 658 to vote for us, we give kudos to them. We return the glory to God, and we say the victory goes to the people of the state of Osun. And our commitment is that we will never disappoint them. They have reposed their confidence in us, and we will work very, very hard to ensure that the confidence they reposed in us is never misplaced.
Sonia Akere is the Commissioner of Information, Osun State. Thank you for joining us today on Core Digest. Well, August 9 is well over. We're going to come back in another 4 years as people evaluate the performance of Rauf Aregbesola. We're hopeful that it can only get better. Join us again tomorrow on Core Digest, where we'll bring you up to date with news and current affairs issues across Nigeria. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. Top of the hour news is just in a moment. Didn't go away.
From time immemorial, women have birthed life, shaped character, and by extension, influenced the society. Moremi of Ife, Emotan of Benin, Queen Aminat of Zaria, all women of influence and power.
Whether it's before election, after election.
How ironical, women being so powerful, yet have few grounds in decision making.
They see you as a wife, and I see you as a wife to a man.
We are talking women in politics.
A woman will be bold enough to stand up and say, I want to become president of Nigeria.
Only on Core TV News.